All right. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to discuss the benefits of integrated credit card processing using DockMaster Payments by valpay. This will help you save time processing transactions. You no longer will have to key in the amount on a separate credit card device. It just syncs over from DockMaster. It reduces key punch and human errors. And you can also process recurring billing by storing the credit card or ACH account number. Now, keep in mind, this is not stored in DockMaster. It's actually tokenized in the gateway, so it's PCI compliant. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the baton to Andrew Langbert, who is going to talk all about DockMaster Payments.
Thank you very much, Jody. So as Jody mentioned, we've launched DockMaster Payments with the intent of having all of our merchants be fully integrated on their processing. Today's conversation, we're gonna talk about why that is, what the benefits are to you, and Jody has already touched on a couple of those. But one of the reasons why we wanted to do it is that the payments industry in general is very tough to understand, and we want to remove some of that and be fully transparent with what the fees look like, what the benefits are, and as you can see here with the screenshot that we've provided, this would be an example of a monthly statement that you would receive from DockMaster with all of your fees broken down by card type, your transaction amounts, your gross deposits, your net deposits, your number of transactions. That's all going to be included in your monthly report. Now, you will also have, this report's going to be sent once a month, but you will also have live reporting within DockMaster, where you'll be able to see each transaction with very similar data to what you're seeing right here, but live. Now, normally, you would only be able to see your settled amounts with other processors. So this is unique to DockMaster, this live reporting function. And we do have additionally, like I said, like the other processors, we also do have settlement reporting in a separate online portal where you'll be able to see, if a card was, if the card passed through, if it's been funded to your bank, if it's on hold for whatever reason, what the last 4 digits of that card were. So you really have 3 main reports that you're going to be able to access. The first being this monthly report, the second being the live reporting, live transaction reporting, and the third being your settlement reporting on that online portal. All right, now just to bring up the recurring billing one more time. So like Jody mentioned, you will be able to store credit cards, which you're currently not able to do as a non-integrated DockMaster merchant. So for your customers that are docking their boats with you, for example, that are paying, once a month, instead of having to manually charge those customers every single month, you could either take their credit card that will do a recurring billing payment in a very secure fashion by, like Jody said, tokenizing that transaction. Or you can do it via ACH, which is a feature that was heavily requested by our merchants to take that payment with their bank account, with your customer's bank account information, where this is a transaction that's much less costly to you, the business owner, to put through, with the ability to do that on a recurring basis. So the reason why ACH is cheaper in general as a transaction is because it's the complete opposite of a card not present transaction, which is what would be the credit card recurring billing feature. And ACH transactions are the safest when you consider the payment space in general. They're the safest transaction that you can run as a merchant. So that's why they are the least expensive. So like we mentioned, there is a seamless integration with DockMaster. There's going to be no need to manually enter these amounts into the terminals. I'm sure you guys can attest to the fact that being non-integrated, although most of the time it works out, there have been instances where maybe you guys charged a customer $5.20 instead of $52, and it became a reconciliation nightmare, and you had to call the customer to ask for the balance of the money back, or just swallow that in hopes of keeping your customer experience a positive one. And we really want to eliminate all that as much as possible by consolidating everything into DockMaster so that you know who you need to speak with if there's an issue with your payment processing, if there's an issue with your terminal. You're calling one support team, which is DockMaster for everything DockMaster related. All right, now, just to get a little bit more detailed with the live reporting, we've provided a screenshot of what that would look like. I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but you will have a transaction ID, the date and specific time of that transaction, whether it was a ACH, a Visa, a MasterCard, an Amex. We do accept all card brands, and you would be able to see all that in your live reporting section of DockMaster. Now, one thing I did not mention just yet with the token storage and the recurring billing is that you will have access to an account updater feature as well. So if somebody's Visa expired, for example, and they get a new credit card sent to them by Visa, you do not need to contact that merchant because their credit card failed and you need to find out why. It's actually going to update their card automatically, so that you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. Cool. So moving on to the terminals, we do have currently two different terminals available. They are the M400 and the P400. Both are able to capture signature, and both are pictured here. Now, the M400 is what we would call the sleeker, more aesthetically pleasing terminal with a pen that your customers can sign. The P400 can also sign with just a finger, for example, but the M400 does have that sleeker look. And on both of these terminals, you are actually able to get them branded to your company if you so choose. And they're both Ethernet wired and Wi-Fi compatible, although we do normally suggest being Ethernet hardwired to ensure that there's no spotty Wi-Fi issues or anything like that. And then we do have the NYC1 mobile coming out soon, which is going to be a wireless terminal entirely. I do want to talk about the roadmap a little bit before I get into pricing. So on the roadmap, we do have convenience fees surcharging and a new payments portal that's going to be branded as well instead of just that monthly reporting that we're sending out. What that means in terms of convenience fees and surcharging is that you will be able to, on every single transaction, if you so choose, you can set it up where you can pass off a fee of the transaction onto the customer for paying with a credit card. So this is actually a very hotly requested feature. We're looking at probably, I would say, around the new year is what we're being told for these features. And it's also state dependent. Some states do allow this. Actually, most states do allow this. But it would be best to check, obviously, with a lawyer if you know one, or if you guys have one in-house. But this is a very hotly requested feature that we are excited to launch. It's going to launch, like I said, around New Year's, where you will be able to pass off that fee onto your customers if you so choose. You don't have to, but it is available to you. Now, as for the pricing options, we do have two options available. The first is a blended or a flat rate pricing, some people may refer to, where no matter what card is being put through, it's always the same flat rate. So it doesn't matter if it's a Visa, an Amex, a MasterCard, a Discover card, a debit card, it's always the same flat rate. The only way that the rate differs is if it's a card present versus a card not present transaction. And anything card present would be if the customer is with you physically in person with that card. And anything not present would be, over the phone or a tokenized transaction, or just anything without having that card in person is going to be a card not present transaction. And then the other option, which is the more popular option, it's probably what most people are doing and using today in the industry, is Interchange Plus. I'm sure it sounds somewhat familiar, where you are being charged interchange plus a certain percentage on each transaction, where that does differ per card. So, an Amex transaction is more expensive than a debit, and a debit is cheaper than Visa and MasterCard, for example. And that's really going to differ on, whether the customer is using a rewards card or just a simple credit card with no added benefits or anything like that, that does change, and it does sort of make your fee fluctuate quite significantly based on your card blends month over month. But it is the more popular option because you also do get to dictate how high or how low your rate is, right? If you choose to accept mostly debit and steer and not accept Amex at all, for example, we have some merchants doing that, your interchange is going to be low and you're going to pay a lower rate than the blended or the flat rate option. All right, so we do have, that does wrap it up for the content of today. We do have questions coming up, which I think Jody is going to share with me. But I'm Andrew. It was a pleasure to present to you guys. And if you guys want to contact me with any questions, you can email me, and you can also email the DockMaster sales team, which Jody's team will be able to assist should you have any questions, more DockMaster related or even payments related that you feel the DockMaster team needs to help you out with. Thank you very much. Jody, I'll pass it over to you for questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. That was great. Thanks very much. So anyone that's on the call that would like to ask a question, please just type it into the chat and we will take care of those questions. This was really very informative, Andrew. I appreciate that information.
No problem.
Okay, I am seeing a question come in now. How long does it take to go live?
Oh, good question.
DockMaster Payments.
Yeah, good question. So our non-integrated merchants that are switching to DockMaster Payments, I would say the average is probably right around that week and a half, 2 weeks mark. Because what the next steps would look like would be signing and completing the application together with myself or Andrew, another sales rep, over the phone, where we ask for business information, banking information, owner information. We get that application approved. The application approval normally takes about 2 days. And then once that's approved, we put you in touch with Tiffany from our implementation team, who reaches out to send out your hardware and get you guys set up with a go live date with the DockMaster support team. And once that hardware is sent out, I would say it's about 3 to 5 business days for the hardware to be delivered. We pair those terminals with our support team. We get you live on DockMaster Payments and you're good to go. One thing I do want to add is you do want to ensure that you don't cancel your relationship with your current processor until you're live on DockMaster Payments. We don't want you to go a day without being able to process payments. So just keep that in mind as you make the transition.
Super, thanks.
No
Another question is, what are the actual rates?
Yes, important question. So the rates for blended, the flat rate structure is for card present transactions. You're looking at 3.25% plus 20 cents per transaction. And for card not present transactions, it's 3.75% and 20 cents per transaction. And then for ACH on both sides, you have ACH transactions at 1% plus 15 cents per transaction. So as we mentioned, the only way that the rates differ on flat rate are card present or card not present, and then and then the interchange rate, which I did not cover just yet. Interchange rate is interchange plus 1% plus 20 cents per transaction. So very simple and easy to understand. I believe that wraps it up for the rates that I'm supposed to cover.
Okay. Another question, and I've actually heard this one before from folks. Is there a warranty on the terminals, or like, how long does it take if I need to get a replacement?
Good question. The terminals are covered. We do offer an additional coverage if you choose to, if something happens to a terminal and you want us to overnight you a new one, there is an extra monthly fee that you can pay per terminal to get that sent out to you priority. But there is a general manufacturer's warranty on the terminals, on top of the fact that obviously we are able to troubleshoot them in-house instead of having you contact the manufacturer yourselves.
Oh, that's actually a great point. I'm not sure if we talked about it, Andrew. One of the other benefits here is that instead of do I have to call DockMaster? Do I have to call the processor? Who do I call? You will always be calling our DockMaster support team now. So it makes it nice and simple. Everything, you're going to work with the same team you've worked with along the way. And we've added resources for DockMaster Payments specifically. So that's another benefit to you.
Absolutely. Great point, Jody.
Anyone else have any questions? Since we just said that, someone wrote that they've had trouble with support in the past. How would this be different?
Good question. This is one we get pretty often. So this is going back to why we launched DockMaster Payments, is we were getting feedback from our merchants about working with different processors and having issues with those processors. Like Jody just alluded to, maybe calling 3 different people for one issue and having to figure that out. By bringing DockMaster Payments to life and having this streamlined vision, we have been able to use our internal resources to focus only on DockMaster Payments. And so what that means is, instead of us training our staff on 3 or 4 different partners for payment processing that we currently have, they're going to be trained only on DockMaster Payments. And they're going to be able to focus their attention solely on DockMaster Payments when it comes to support and development. So when we talk about the roadmap, those are examples of us being able to put our efforts into DockMaster Payments, as opposed to having to refine our processes to work with all the different partners that we have payment processing wise. And when it comes to support, it's very much so the same philosophy, where our support team is going to only need to be well trained on the DockMaster payment side of things. And so when you call in with an issue, they will be able to answer you in a timely manner, and they're also going to be able to obviously get through more tickets by answering you in a timely manner, because they're going to be trained on that and well versed in DockMaster payments specifically. But they're also going to be able to point you in the right direction. Sorry, they will also be able to assist you, whether it's a hardware issue with DockMaster, is it something that's software connected that may be an issue with, that may be causing the issue with the payment processing. They will know that right off the bat. And the beauty there is that with DockMaster Payments being a newer company, we've been able to take the feedback of our merchants and make it a better experience for our customers already. And an example of that would be, we had started out DockMaster Payments with daily discounting. And what all that means is that the fees were taken out daily instead of once a month. And we had immediately gotten feedback from our merchants that this was an issue in regards to payment processing and journal entries and accounting, because of the way that DockMaster was set up with journal entries. So within that week, we were able to take the feedback, send it to our development team, and get it changed so that the fees came out monthly and everything was back to normal with the way it was before with their previous processor. Now, that is just a small example of how support is going to change and how the roadmap is going to only make your experience better. And that example is the whole beauty of why we launched DockMaster Payments, with the vision in mind of increasing our customer satisfaction, our customer experience, and being able to listen to our merchants, as opposed to sending them over to some big processing company where any suggestions or changes that would need to be made go into you know, a laundry list of future improvements that, you know, they may need to get to that eventually, that hopefully eventually get fixed, but kind of wishful thinking there. That's a good question though. Thanks for that, Jody, or whoever asked it.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions? It looks like there are no other questions coming in, but we hope that you found this very informative and helpful, and you should really look into integrated processing because it really will help your business overall. So with that being
Thank you.
said, again, you can reach directly out to Andrew if you'd like, or you can reach out to info@dockmaster.com and we will help you moving forward. Thank you all and have a good day. And
Thank you
thanks,
so
Andrew.
much, guys. Thanks, Jody.